If you want to set up our authentication REST API for your customers to authenticate with, we recommend trying the EID Hub product. You can integrate with EID Hub either using Authentication REST API, SAML, or OIDC. In this video, we will explore how to integrate with Authentication REST API. Before we can enable this, however, we need to make sure that we have at least two components set up. The first component you need to set up is a domain. In order to get our Authentication REST API working as intended, we need to have a domain configured. If you don't know how to configure a domain, please consider watching our video about domain setup in DTP. The second part is you need an ID method. You'll also need to set up an electronic identification method, such as NVID or SBID. In our Sandbox environment, you're able to set up whatever method you would like to, and something that's worth mentioning is that when testing in Sandbox, for some identification methods, you'll need to set up a test user. In the description of this video, we have attached some links to create test users for both NVID, SBID, and MIT-ID. After making sure these two components are configured, you're ready to create your API client. You can create an API client by clicking Create Client. You'll then be asked to give an internal labeling name. This name will only be visible internally on the dashboard and won't be visible to your customers. Next, you'll be asked to create a secret. You can choose to do this right away or later. You're then able to see the client ID at the top of your screen, and this will always be randomly generated and will consist of 3 words, 2 of them being randomized, and 3 numbers. The first word will always reflect of what environment the client belongs in. For example, this client was created in the Sandbox environment, hence why it starts with the word Sandbox. In production environment, it will start with the word prod. Next, you'll be able to click the Secrets tab to generate a secret. It's important to note that you will need to store this locally, as you won't be able to retrieve it from the dashboard again. You are, however, able to have multiple secrets running simultaneously without interfering with each other, and you're able to remove the secret by clicking Revoke here. To decide what APIs should be available to your API client, we can navigate to the Permissions tab and click Select Product. Here we can choose whatever API we would like to use, for example, the Authentication REST API. To activate the API you would like to use, simply select it, scroll to the bottom and click Update. Your API client will now be able to utilize the products you have chosen.